Weekdays 4 at 5 on your side.
Heavenly Father, please help us. Please help us to be safe.
Walls of fire. Thousands of Californians continue to be evacuated as the Camp Fire in Northern California by Chico and the Woolsey Fire in Southern California are exploiting the dry conditions in the state right now. And good evening, everyone. Thousands of firefighters are on the ground tonight trying to beat back the flames of those major fires. Thanks for joining us. We have complete coverage tonight. I'm Joe Hart.
And I'm Shelby Sheehan. Thanks for joining us. Well, the Camp Fire in Northern California is continuing to explode, burning 70,000 acres. We have team coverage for you tonight as the fires burn on.
And at least 5 people have been killed in that massive wildfire in Northern California. News 4's Kristen Edwards is live to show us just how devastating the Camp Fire has been, and it certainly grew overnight and today. Kristen?
Joe and Shelby, right now we are in Chico, California. We wanted to be in Paradise, California to give you a live close-up look at some of the damage, but the Camp Fire has wiped out service, and that's how we're able to broadcast to you, so we are unable to get up there. But we do have some video that we shot earlier today to just show you how powerful this fire has been. A layer of smoke hangs over a small California town that stood in the path of a massive fire that has burned 70,000 acres. Buildings have been reduced to piles of ash and debris, some just skeletons of what they were a few days earlier. Others remain untouched by the flames. At a nearby shelter, many are left wondering what they'll go home to.
I'm here.
They're at capacity, so Al is living in a tent in the parking lot. He says he doesn't think his home is still standing.
It'd be a miracle if it was still there. It started across the street. Some embers must have caught the grass across the street on fire. The wind blew it up a tree and blowing the embers right across Skyway into our house. So when we saw the embers landing in our front yard, we're just like, we got to get out of here. No time to pack anything. Grab the dogs. Left with what we were wearing.
The Butte County Sheriff says the 5 people who have died in this fire were found in Paradise inside their vehicles, which had been overcome by flames. And our sister station in Redding is also now reporting that 4 more people have been found dead. Joe and Shelby?
All right, thanks, Kristen. Any reports of other injuries or any updates on the search for any other people that have tried to get out?
Well, the most recent update that we have is that 3 firefighters have been injured, and we're also hearing that because of the service issues that we're having, there are plenty of people who are still trying to locate their loved ones. Joe?
All right, thanks, Kristen, for your coverage up there. We appreciate it. Well, Butte County still fighting through the flames that have reached more than 70,000 acres.
Well, Shaw Ahmad is reporting live from the Moana Fire Station. Shaw, what's the best way really to prevent these types of fires and these types of conditions, I think?
Shelby, it's important to understand that the vast majority of wildfires caused nationwide, about 85%, are caused by people. Practicing safe fire techniques can mean the difference between a tiny spark and a 1,000-acre blaze. In 2015, one of the largest fires in U.S. history raged in California, resulting in 2 deaths and a loss of almost $450 million. That fire was in Butte County. The fire became the 7th largest in state history, and at its peak had nearly 5,000 firefighters battling the blaze. Almost 2 years later, Butte County is still enduring damaging fire seasons. We spoke to the spokesperson for Truckee Meadows Fire Department about why Butte County is so vulnerable to these large wildland fires.
Cheatgrass is 200–300% above average. It does not take much for that to spark and trigger a massive wildfire. In many cases, more dangerous it is than during the summertime season.
The Truckee Meadows Fire Department can't stress the importance of fire safety enough. Nevada is one of 3 states that saw an increase in fire deaths in the past 30 years. Coming up on News 4 at 6, we take a look at the best ways to protect your home this holiday season against fires. Reporting live from the Moana Fire Station, I'm Shaw Ahmad.
All right, thanks so much, Shaw. Well, fire season is now really a year-round threat on the West Coast, and while the wind has calmed down today for Chico, another round of wind is looking to increase the fire danger this weekend.
That's right. The break that firefighters get is not lasting long. We check in with Cassie now for a look at why conditions remain dangerous for critical fire weather. Cassie?
Oh, Joe and Shelby, we are dealing with kind of the calm between the storms here. While Northern California is seeing a break from the wind, that dry air settled into Southern California, continuing to fuel those fires here. And closer to home, we are seeing some of that smoke in our sunset over Lake Tahoe this evening. And the reason why, well, the winds have calmed down in Northern California. Take a look at our smoke transport this evening. Now, this loop has the smoke kind of settling in around the Sierra Hillside down towards the Sacramento Valley, but to the south, the Woolsey and Hill Fire remain very active as that smoke is just blowing out into the Pacific Ocean. The reason why, that pocket of dry air has shifted over LA, really Southern California dealing with the worst of it, but that green to our north, some moisture associated with a cold front, and that means winds are expected to increase. Now, unfortunately, it's looking to stay dry in Northern California as that front passes, and critical fire weather will return to the forecast by Saturday night. A red flag warning back in place Saturday 10 p.m. through Monday 7 a.m. as those strong winds are expected to ramp back up over the Camp Fire. Now, to the south, critical fire danger will continue as a red flag warning is in place this afternoon through Tuesday, 5 o'clock for the greater LA area. Now, high wind warnings for the surrounding communities. So wind really not calming down at all for Southern California and looking to ramp back up in Northern California by tomorrow night.
All right, thanks, Cassie. Well, you're taking a live look now, or a look now at the Woolsey Fire in Southern California, putting up so much smoke. According to CAL FIRE, the fire in Simi Valley has burned 14,000 acres. The Woolsey Fire started yesterday, and due to those dry conditions and Santa Ana winds, has been spreading rapidly. It is moving towards the Pacific Ocean. Tens of thousands of people have been forced to evacuate down there, including the entire city of Malibu.
Well, we just learned that the Reno Fire Department will be sending a crew to help battle this fire.
And Melissa Matheny joins us now from the newsroom with more on the conditions that our local firefighters will be facing when they head out and they get there in California.
That's right. Some local Reno firefighters got the call today. They're packing up right now to hit the road. They're going to be heading down to help fight the Woolsey Fire. 4 of them are heading down, taking 1 engine with them, and they are going to be facing some dangerous conditions down there. So the Woolsey Fire is being pushed by strong winds, which is really carrying it through neighborhoods and across major freeways. There's also choking smoke as people scramble to get out of the fire's path, and you can see the smoke here in this photo behind me. There's the ocean right there. There's a line of cars as people try to evacuate, and you can see just a huge column of smoke. Just an incredible scene down there in Southern California. The 14,000 acre fire has now pushed across the 101 freeway, and fire officials say the perimeter of the fire is the Pacific Ocean. They are counting on the ocean to be the fire line at this point. A state of emergency has been declared in both Northern and Southern California. The north because of the Camp Fire that is wreaking havoc. In the south is because of 2 fires, the Hill Fire and the Woolsey Fire, which you're looking at right now. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated, fearing for their lives and fearing for everything they own, hoping that they have a home to come back to.
Fire was all around me, and it was kind of frightening. I couldn't see anything except smoke and fire.
2,000 firefighters have been called on to help battle the Woolsey Fire. Our local firefighters, again, are going to be a part of that effort. That's in addition to the crew that's in Northern California right now, battling the Camp Fire between Reno and Tahoe. We have about 60 local firefighters that are in Northern California. Joe and Shelby.
All right, our crew's definitely answering the call.
Yeah, thanks, Melissa.
Well, a group of 50 Nevada veterans joined together this morning to take off on a trip to Washington, D.C. in honor of Veterans Day weekend. This trip, organized by Honor Flight Nevada, it allows veterans to visit the memorials dedicated to honor their services and sacrifices. The veterans will be guests of honor at the Arlington National Cemetery, and a banquet will be held in their honor. A veteran who was on the trip as a volunteer told News 4 why it's important this weekend to honor World War II veterans.
My father died on Veterans Day, and he was a Holocaust survivor. So Veterans Day, especially being with these guys, tremendous, tremendous.
Well, so good for them, and you can celebrate these veterans this weekend as well by attending their homecoming at the Reno Tahoe Airport. That will be Sunday at 4 in the afternoon. Be great to welcome them home then.
And this weekend in northern Nevada, there are several events going on to honor veterans. On Saturday, in honor of the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I, the Nevada State Museum in Carson City will be hosting a free special event. The Carson Nugget is also offering 2 free tickets for its Al Stewart concert. For the full list of events going on this weekend, you can visit mynews4.com. Well, Starbucks is saluting our military this Veterans Day as well. All day Sunday, veterans and active military can get a free tall coffee. Spouses can get one too. Military ID or other proof of service is required.
Well, time now for our News 4 web poll question. We want to know tonight, will you be participating in any Veterans Day events going on this weekend? Out of 174 votes so far, 26% of you say yes and 74% say no. Well, there's the results. You'll find the web poll on our Facebook page, KRNV News 4, and we'll have updated results for you coming up throughout our newscast tonight. And even if you're not participating, just thank a veteran for their service if you see them.
It's definitely starting to feel like football weather out here. Spanish Springs hosts Bishop Manogue for our Friday Night Rivals game of the week. I'll have a preview of the playoff game in just a few minutes.
And today, Reno High School students came together in support of recently fired football coach Dan Avancino.
And the sun is setting and smoke lingering around the lake. Will we see any smoke move into the valley or the Tahoe Basin, though? I've got a look at your Weather Authority forecast.
Welcome back. Today, Reno High School students took a stand as they held a walkout in support of their former longtime head football coach Dan Avancino. The walkout comes after Avancino was fired earlier this week following 17 years as head coach, and you can see quite a few students did walk out. Students say Avancino should not have been fired. Avancino was ousted after an explosive live interview on our sister station, Nevada Sports Net, in which he was highly critical of Bishop Manogue's athletic programs. The school district is not saying whether the interview was the reason he was let go. Avancino says he's at peace with the school's decision and will continue to teach PE and English language at Reno High. All right, we made it to the second round of 4A high school football playoffs, and our Friday Night Rivals game sends us tonight out to Spanish Springs.
We'll toss things out to Nevada Sportsnet's Shannon Kelly, who has more on tonight's big game. Shannon?
Hi, Joe and Shelby. We've made it to the second round, and there are only 4 teams left standing in the North. Spanish Springs is coming off a big win against Galena last week and is riding a 7-game winning streak heading into tonight's game against Bishop Manogue. If the Cougars win this one tonight, they'll make it to the regional championship game for the first time in school history. Head coach Eric Borja said his team has had a great attitude all week long, and they're so close to doing something they've never done before. He said you can't ignore that's in sight, but his guys have to stay focused on every drive tonight. He told the guys that the teams who make it in the end catch fire, and there's something different with the way they play from the regular season until now, and they have to be that team tonight or they're turning in their gear on Monday. But he knows it's going to be a team effort because the Miners are going to run the ball more than what they've seen so far this season.
You know what? I think they've really got now. I think in the system that Coach Howland's running is, I think they really want to establish that run. Got great play action off their quarterback. He does a great job of managing, and they got skill guys where they need them and a big line in front. And so I think he's building up his team the way he likes it.
Next hour, we'll hear from head coach Howard and his team to stop the Miners, to stop the Cougars, I should say, tonight. Kickoff again set for 7 o'clock. You can watch it on Nevada Sportsnet or online at nevadasportsnet.com. Reporting live at Spanish Springs High School, I'm Shannon Kelly.
All Playoffs, always a fun time of the year. Bundle up if you're heading out there tonight for sure. News 4 is your weather authority, and we check in with Cassie on this Friday night.
That's right. She's got the details on our forecast and also some pretty cool temperatures as we head on into the weekend.
We can't shake them. We're dealing with the chill in the air here in northern Nevada, and the concern is, are we going to see any of that smoke from the campfire? You can see the smoke really in the middle atmosphere here as the sun's starting to set. The good news is we do have a strong easterly wind. Bad news is we have a strong easterly wind, so that won't help at the campfire, but we are talking about keeping our skies smoke-free as we head through the weekend. The wind is generally calm around that fire right now, and that's why we're seeing that fire really kind of diffuse through the middle atmosphere and settle into the valley there. Now here in Reno, we've got generally light winds and chilly temperatures. We're at 50 degrees right now on the valley floor, but we're already in the 30s down towards Minden and Gardnerville, already in the 30s out towards Lovelock, north to Winnemucca. Now, your hourly forecast puts us here in the 30s by 9 o'clock this evening here in Reno. So expect another cold one tonight as temperatures are expected to drop into the 20s this evening. Now, we have a slight warm up ahead for your Saturday as temperatures start to move into the upper 50s. Sunshine, light winds, but once that sun's down for the Nevada game, expect a big chill for the second half of the game. Now, Sunday, we're talking about those cooler temperatures rolling back into the forecast as your next cold front, your next weather maker is approaching. East winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts up to 30 possible as we move through your Sunday. So definitely feeling more of those chilly temperatures as we head through the end of the weekend into your Monday. Here's a look at that Wolfpack forecast. 45 degrees by kickoff. Now, not a whole lot of wind expected tomorrow, but it is a north wind, which means it will feel a little bit cooler. As we head into the second half, it is definitely going to be football weather. So grab those layers and cheer on the Pack as they take on Colorado State here. Last home game of this season, so we've got to fill the stands. As we take a look at the forecast, though, here is what we are tracking Sunday. That cold front is moving into the region, so another low will push that high pressure off the west coast. The concern here for smoke, Saturday, we're talking about a northwesterly wind, which could pull some of that smoke in. The good news is Saturday winds will be generally light. So if we do see any, we won't see a whole lot of smoke. Now, as we head into Sunday, those winds shift completely north, and that's when they start to increase. And then we'll see them slide to the east as we head throughout the day on Sunday, and then we'll see those gusty winds. So anything we do pull in on Saturday, we'll push it right back over the hill by Sunday. As we head into Monday, I expect that high pressure to resume, which means we could be talking about another single-digit and teen start to the forecast. Tonight in Reno, 22 degrees, clear and cold for your Friday night, and then as we head through to tomorrow, 59, right at normal sunshine. Not a bad day, but it will be a cold night. And while we've got another cold shot of air heading into the forecast Sunday into Monday, making that start on Monday definitely a hard one to kick off the work week, with teens expected for Carson City and single digits expected around the lake as we head through Monday morning. Then mild warm-up expected with 60s returning through the 7-day forecast.
After a roaring 86-70 win over BYU to open the season, the Nevada basketball team returns to action at Lawler Event Center tonight.
That's right. The Pack taking on longtime foe Pacific in their second home game of the season. With more on the matchup, we send things out to Julian Delgadio. Hopefully a big crowd for tonight's game. Julian?
Yeah, hopefully a big crowd indeed. It's pretty empty right now, but that's because the doors have not been let open yet. They had 11,000 plus last game, but tonight Nevada looks to remain perfect as the number 7 basketball team in the entire country. Right now, not too much is going on right behind me. Some of the players are starting to warm up, kind of get a feel for the court tonight. But back to this matchup, the hunt continues. Nevada stepped up big time on defense last game in their 16-point win. We talked a lot about Nevada needing to find a 3-point shooter in the wake of losing Kendall Stevens to graduation. Last year, he broke the conference record for the most threes in a season. In the exhibition, they did not shoot very well from beyond the arc in the first game, but when the season finally started off, 3 threes from Jazz Johnson and 3 more from Caleb Martin. Pack broke that game wide open, and they look to build off of that success in this one.
You know, I thought Jazz's 12 points off the bench was really, really vital to us. Him knocking down 3 threes, and even Thurm's 3 I thought was really big for us because we feel him at the 4-5, he's going to be able to make an occasional 3 that we need him to. And we made a decision to play smaller than maybe what we've been working on in training camp because of the fact that they played zone and we needed perimeter shooting.
It all starts at 7 o'clock here at Lawler Event Center, Nevada, taking on Pacific. I'll have more on this one on News 4 at 6 o'clock. But until then, here at Lawler Event Center, I'm Julian Delgadio. We'll be right back.
Now, we do not have wolves in Nevada, but the student population felt like wolves embodied the spirit of Nevada.
Well, before they were called the Wolfpack, they were something very different. In our Knowing Nevada segment, we'll take you back to the beginnings of UNR and the athletic program on News 4 Nightly.
Looking forward to that. All right, well, that's all for News 4 at 5. We'll see you back here for News 4 Nightly coming your way at 6.
See you then.